Hello, loves. How are you all? So I finally got my nature after a crazy week, and I wanted to talk about this Mercury Retrograde that we're all going through right now. It's been crazy. We had the solar eclipse. We had so much going on, and I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves because that's what matters. First and foremost, what matters is that you all are taking good care of yourselves, drinking lots of water, journaling if you're into that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to honestly tell you all that I have so much plans for this channel. I have so much that I have to do in order to make this channel what I want it to be. I think that over the past few days, I've been kind of releasing a lot of just like nonsense habits, nonsense thoughts, looking over the channel, making some big decisions. And the way I want to open up this video is, comparison is definitely the thief of joy, but I have another take on that, okay? In my opinion, I think that comparison, and you know what, I'm gonna say controversially, even maybe sometimes getting in other people's so-called business can help you. Like, I genuinely think that when you are aware of what's going on around you, whether it's in a business sense or your personal life or the world around you, it don't really matter. Like, in my opinion, in general, like, when you are aware of other factors, you can make the best decision for you. I think it's incredibly hard to draw a plan or a scope of your own organically if you're not aware of what other people are doing, and then you want to like switch it to what you do. You want to highlight and capitalize on what makes you stand out, what makes you happy, what makes you do what you do. You see what I'm saying? So I know in a perfect world, people want to say, oh, like, you're doing great, sweetie. But you know what? Like, if I never looked around me, I would not be where I am right now. If I never thought bigger about my living, my life, if I never looked around me and said, wow, that person doesn't have to get up every day and go to a building to work. That person has their own businesses. If I never looked around me and at my parents, like my parents, for example, if I never saw my parents do that and have a main income and have all their businesses, if I never saw my grandfather do that, who would I be? Like, so that's kind of like my rebuttal to like the this go-to phrase of don't worry and don't sweat it and comparison, because you know what, those things help you be a better person. So I'm just keeping it real with you all. Like, when you compare yourself, sometimes you shouldn't do that like obsessively, but you know what, if you do compare yourself to other people in certain small ways, in certain small doses, you'll be a better person. Sorry, hate to break it to you, but you'll be a better person. Okay? So you heard that from me first, because let me tell you, the way that I have upgraded my life, the way that I have upgraded my thinking, the way that I have changed for myself, I could have never have done if I was not wanting what somebody else has in certain ways. Like, that's just a no-brainer, no offense. Like, like going to a 9-to-5 and not being happy versus having your own business, that makes you feel a lot different, okay? That is not typical. So, you have to gain inspiration from somewhere. Yes, you're supposed to gain inspiration from yourself, but the reality is there's examples in front of you, and you look at them and you say, okay, I'm gonna try this out in my own way. I'm gonna remix it, and I'm gonna see how it works for me. Yeah, that's how life is. You're experimenting. You're experimenting. You're trying to decide what works for you. And honestly speaking, I think that that's what Mercury Retrograde has been. At least for me. Mercury Retrograde for me has been a situation where I have looked over a lot of things in my life. A lot. And I've had to make some big decisions. I've had to draw maybe some conclusions that I maybe shouldn't draw. But guess what? It's got me to think different. It's got me to think different. And, sometimes you need that, Sometimes you need a Mercury retrograde to hit you upside your head. And sometimes, I'm not saying this is for everybody, I'm only speaking for myself. Sometimes you'll say to yourself, man, this is some BS. What I'm doing is not working, or how I feel, or how I'm spending my time is not working, and that's just real talk. And on my channel, I speak from my heart, and I like to think that my subscribers can handle it. I like to think that you all can handle the truth, and that I say things out of love, And I'm me, I'm Simone. There's only one Simone like me, and I bask in that. I live in that. I drip in that. I breathe in that. And that's what helps me look at what's working and what's not working, So this Mercury retrograde has been brutal, okay? There's no other way to put it. Like, I would say in terms of physical symptoms, like exhaustion, not physical symptoms, goddamn. I mean, like, in terms of your body being impacted, like exhaustion or fatigue or aches and sores and pain. That, not really. There's been other ones where I felt like that, where I felt like I couldn't even get out of bed. That's totally different. But this one right here, no. This retrograde, I don't feel that at all. I feel fine. Go to bed at a certain time, get up at a certain time, start my day. Go to work, come back home, do YouTube, go to class. I'm about to graduate, finish off my classes, my homework, study, cook dinner, clean, laundry. Like, I can do regular things. But the difference with this retrograde is the mental, in my opinion. I know some people have had car crashes, which is normal. I know it sounds scary, but guess what? I have seen, actually, I went to the gas station, and, I'm the kind of person where people can just get my vibe and they want to tell me their whole life story. That happens a lot to me. And the clerk was talking to me, and you know what he said to me? He said to me, oh, by the way, they're about to lock off this road because there's a 3-way car crash, and you may want to leave now, and not have to wait in line for this or that because, there's going to be this and that. And I was like, what? Come to find out, he was right. And I've seen a lot of those kind of car crashes where there's 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, and it happens during the retrograde. Is it nice to see? No. Is it reality? Yes. Like, it's reality that the car will break down. You'll have to get your car maintenance, or you're going to see a crazy car crash, and you're supposed to be at this place by this time, but you can't because the road is locked off. So it's life. And what the retrograde teaches us is that we can only control what's in our control. That is the beautiful part about it, is we can only control what we can control. And here's the thing, if we are not controlling what we need to control, bossing it day in and day out, we are doing ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, a huge disservice. We are not living our best life if we are not getting things right in order. You know, it's incredible. Like, yesterday night, I was up so late. I didn't want to, but it was like the ideas were flowing. I had my candles on. You know what I'm saying? For those who are wondering, do I work with candles? I love candles. I love candles. And if I could sell my own candles, I would, because I know a thing or two, okay? Especially when it comes to herbs and what to put in that bee. I could teach y'all some things, okay? Especially when it comes to like meditating, you know, when you're laying down and you're sitting up and you're trying to get your higher self to guide you, opposed to your mind with all this crap in it and anxiety and doubt and fear. You know, you want that part of your mind to shut up, basically. You want your higher self, you want your real mind, the working mind, the genius mind, to come through. You know, that's what you really want. That's what you want to really tap into. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how it is. That's how it is. And, you know, I saw this one guy tweet, you know, if you haven't done the work, you can't complain. If you haven't done the work, you shouldn't be surprised when karma or bad things happen. I agree with that. Now, is that harsh to say? Yes. Is it the truth? Yes. You know, this little thing about, oh, you know, your exes come back. Where if they're blocked, they're not going to come back. If I have released them and let them live their life, they're not going to come back in my direction. And if they come back in my direction, I don't want them. I don't want them. So, you know, that whole, it's just little stupid things here and there that we as human beings latch onto. Why don't we latch onto the idea of manifesting a bunch of money or amazing skyrocketing health? Why don't we make that the normal thing with Mercury Retrograde? Why do we have to make the normal thing about, an ex comes back or your car breaks down? That's so phony. Why don't you try to manifest that instead of crap? Why don't you manifest some money? Why don't you manifest a house? Why don't you manifest why don't you manifest? Why are you focusing on your ex? Can someone explain this to me? Oh, my ponytail's coming out. Why are you focusing on your ex, baby girl? Baby boy? Manifest on some racks, sweetie. Especially if you're over the age of 23, you should not even be falling for that. Because that person's an ex for a reason. Somebody needs to hear this message, okay? That person is an ex for a reason, and they deserve to stay where they are. The truth hurts. The truth hurts. But it's the truth, okay? It's the truth. So that is one part of Mercury Retrograde that I cannot relate to, that I don't want to relate to. You know, whenever people talk about it, it makes me chuckle because it don't make no sense. Oh, my ex texted me. For what? The key word is ex. The key word is ex. You know, and here's a little tip. Here's a big tip. If you're trying to manifest new love, if you're trying to get married, if you're trying to establish a family, have a real solid foundation, right? Don't bother doing things to get your ex back to get closure. That's a scam, okay? You can get closure right here, right now. You could stop what you're doing right now, have your person in mind, and say to yourself, and literally say to yourself, this person and me are through, right? You can literally be intelligent and say to yourself right now, with all this retrograde crap, this person may come back because maybe they have a guilty conscience, right? I mean, it's happened to me, or maybe this person may come back because, they feel bad about how they treated you. Okay, that's all cute and well. But what can happen? What can happen if you even let them in that door? And energetically, I was going to show you all this really pretty leaf, but when I turn my camera, it's showing my phone case, so it's not going to work. So what I'm simply saying, you all, is we're adults, okay? Majority of us watching this video, or me making this video, we're adults, we're young adults, okay? So yeah, what I'm saying is that's all cute. You know what I'm saying? If somebody wants to apologize for cheating on you or not stepping up when they were in a relationship with you, this person was lazy, this person never really worked at the relationship, that's cute. That's cute. But here's the thing. Old feelings may pop out. Old memories may pop out. A lot of things may resurface. And then what are you going to do? You're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck in the same cycle of my ex, my twin flame. Are you kidding me? You're never going to get out of that. If that's how you're thinking, that, willy-nilly, I can recapture this energy with this person because I still love them, or because I like them, or whatever the hell it is. Then I'm gonna repark and go to the hill, get some leg action in. So, you just have to think, people. You just have to think about what even social media is giving you, and what they're trying to have you focus on. Like, I'm focused on a bag. I'm focused on my health. I'm focused on living my life. I'm not focused on an ex. I'm not focused on my twin flame. I'm not focused on none of that crap that they keep kicking, because that's not going to help me, and that's damn sure not going to help you. So you really have to think. You really have to think differently. You have to flip this whole retrograde thing on its head. You got to flip the script and see it from a different perspective. Like here's what I'll say. Instead of seeing it as something coming in, why don't you see it as something leaving your life? Why don't you see it as a cycle that needs to end, or a relationship or a connection that no longer serves for your highest purpose, and let it go, and just simply let it go? Isn't that a much better idea than trying to, resurrect a connection from the dead that needs to be gone out of your life and, deleted and to never be returned? Like, is that not such a better idea than holding on and clasping on to shoestrings? And, it just... So, yeah, with that said, you all, this retrograde has been a lot, but it's been very eye-opening. I could tell you all firsthand that when it comes to my channel, there's been a lot of things that I've been irritated about, upset about, exhausted over, stressed over, that I'm letting go. I'm actively letting those aspects of YouTube in my mind, in my subconscious mind, in my heart, I'm letting it go, because YouTube is on some other ish, you feel me? And they've been trying to be like TikTok, and I already made a video telling you all that this platform is trying to be like TikTok and morph. It keeps morphing into other apps that are viral and up and coming, and that's weird to me, because if you're secure, like if you're secure in your platform, and you're secure in how creators are pushing out things out here, and you're secure in your brand, you would not keep changing it over and over and over and over and over again. Tweaking it here and there is okay, but the way YouTube is, even with the creator studio, other creators can relate, it's annoying. In fact, I'll give you guys a prime example. When you upload a video, they have this thing now in the Creator Studio where they put a little box that says allow people to sample your content, and you have to manually go in every single video and untick this box. I'm trying to tell you all the messed up ish going on here. They want you to go in every single box and manually untick that box so that some TikToker, some weirdo out here can't take your content and put a song over it and scam it and make it look bad. That's ridiculous, okay? And that's just exhibit A of what I was trying to talk about and trying to get at in that other video that I made. And because I wasn't trying to go into it, like the details like that, I didn't highlight that, you know? I didn't, a pineapple. I've been just having lots of fruit. Yeah, sorry you all. I just felt that in my teeth. So, you know, like for example, like that's what I'm talking about. Like they're trying to be like other apps, and as a creator, I need to be able to focus on one frame, one zone, one idea, and that's it. I don't need to be, as a creator, stuck in this shoebox of TikTok crap, because this is not TikTok, okay? You know, YouTube is not TikTok. But what I will say for me and for a lot of people who can resonate, you know, maybe are on the same wave that I'm on, is that, you know, things have got to change. It's just that simple. Like you look at certain things or your routine or your schedule, and you have to kind of like wake up, you know what I'm saying? And to me, I think that retrograde is like a smack in the face. I think it's an absolute smack in the face to wake up. And that's how it feels for me. You know, whenever, I mean, especially this one, to me, it's just felt like a smack in the face. And, you know, it's been really bad at times, but then right after it's like, you know what? I needed to see that key piece of information. I needed to see that perspective. I needed to stop and go back to the past a little bit, you know, work-wise, career-wise, different things, and see what was the common denominator. You know, maybe you all are doing that right now as well, and you're saying, you know, what is the common denominator that is in my way, or that is blocking me, or that is causing these issues? And you have to eradicate it. You have to look at it and say, enough is enough, you know? And the retrograde will help you do that, but it may stomp you out. You know what I'm saying? It may mess with your bread, it may mess with your car, it may mess with your family, it may mess with your relationship, until you kind of just wake up and realize that, you know, this is not working for me. You know, this is that part of my life is not working, and I need to focus on something totally different for myself so that I can grow and evolve in a different way. And not everybody has the balls to do that. You know, some people they're stuck in this one-dimensional thinking, and they're not able to elevate themselves to a different level because they're so stuck in the past that they can't really elevate themselves mentally, emotionally, and physically, and spiritually most importantly. So, you know, if there's little issues here and there, don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? If there's little hiccups here and there, don't worry about that. Focus on the goal. You know, have a goal, stick to the goal, have a refined routine, a better schedule, and get busy. You know what I'm saying? Like try to look at it from a perspective of, how am I going to make this work for me? Because if it's not going to work for me, there's going to be a problem. And problems will arise. You know why? Because you're not benefiting. You know, you're not where you want to be. And so, you know, people get in the cycle of wasting a year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And it's only because they haven't afforded themselves the luxury to just stop and think and pause and ask themselves, what can I change? And this retrograde, I think, has given that gift to me, and hopefully it's given that gift to you all, where you've allowed yourself to feel overwhelmed, you've allowed yourself to feel angry, you've allowed yourself to say, what the hell was I doing with this person, or what the hell was I in this job for, or you've allowed yourself that space to say, what's going on? You know, why is this not the way I want it? And if it is the way you want it, to then take it up a notch and say, okay, let's make this a oiled well machine. You know, let's make this a situation that is going to keep going well. maintenance, right? Maintenance. How are we going to keep this oil machine running, bringing me the results I want, everything. Like if it is the way you want, and I hope it is, then the retrograde can shine a light on how you got to that place, how you got to that position, and then now how to maintain it. So the retrogrades are never a bad thing. Yes, on the 3D, it's chaos, but I'm telling you, spiritually, it will get you together. You know what I'm saying? It will give you life. Okay. So that's what's been happening with me, you all. And there's going to be a lot of channel updates very, very soon. I'm going to be changing a lot with my channel. You heard it here first, you all. My readings have been sold out for a long time. Whenever I open up my availability, I get swamped. And I just had to take some time for myself to renovate where I live, to get some affairs in order. And, I will be able to, improve things to be like a well-oiled machine. That's my goal right now, is to get things to a point where it's just smooth and it's successful and it's cut out and it's precise. That's kind of where my head's at. And I have to work incredibly hard to get to that point. The products I want to launch, the things I want to do, the sister channel, the baby I'm going to say sister channel because baby channel is not right, but the sister channel that I have in the works, collabs that I may want to do one day, that all takes effort, work. This is not some circus show. Like I always tell you all, this takes work. These things, these goals that you and I want to achieve, it takes work. Even if, like, let's say, for example, even if you wanted to manifest the lottery, even if you wanted to manifest a large sum of money, either through inheritance or winnings or whatever, or a business, you think that doesn't take work? It doesn't take focus. It doesn't take energy. It absolutely does. Like, it does take some kind of sacrifice, some kind of energy to manifest that. You know what I'm saying? To make it the way you want to make it. Like it still requires something on your end. Like, it's kind of like an energy of like, you can't get something for nothing. Like you can't get something for nothing. There's gonna be, there may be some blood, sweat, and tears that have to be poured into a certain aspect or area or business in your life that is going to produce the fruit that you need to take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the bottom line. Like my subscribers keep going up and up and up and up. And the more that I've had success, and the more the harder that I work, and the more things change with YouTube and all that, like, is a more refinement and information and books that, I am naturally drawn to read. The more that you it's like as the years go on, you have more information on certain things. It's sad, but it's true. Like, as time goes along, you just know more. It's like, let's think about your 18-year-old self, your 20-year-old self versus your 28 or 25 or 22. That's a huge jump in knowledge if you've been doing it right. From 18 to 24, there should be a substantial difference in the amount of knowledge that you've obtained. And that's how it is. I think that time is a great keeper. I mean, time is inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Time is always going, and we can't control that. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter how much money we have. We can't buy back time. And so with this retrograde as well, it kind of opened up my eyes, a little bit more to say, I need to spend more time with my friends and my family. I'm so focused on retirement and savings and this and that and this and that, but I'm not even able to really focus on my family. I told you all that I was taking care of my mom after her surgery. I've been the main person there because I have the most flexible schedules due to COVID and everything else to help her, because my dad's job schedule with his business, it's nonstop. So I'm like I'm her only daughter as well, so that's probably why. On top of that, my stepbrother, he doesn't live where I live. He lives up north. So that's totally different story. But what I'm saying is, even with that situation with the retrograde, it's like I had to kind of rethink, re-strategize, and be like, okay, like when all is said and done, let me put on my AC actually before this phone goes out. 1 second, you all. Okay, I'm back, loves, because I know my phone was gonna overheat at some point, because I always have very like quality cases and it overheats my phone. But like I was saying, like even with the retrograde, it's like I had to kind of stop and ask myself, okay, what if this may sound kind of morbid, but it's like, what if tomorrow or whatever, like what if your life was came to a close, at 80 or 60 or whatever, or 90, and can you honestly say that you were able to build the relationships you wanted and spend as much time with your parents and your friends and your family? Like, that's very important. So with the retrograde, that's also the perspective that I gained, is like, I want to have more time with my family. I'm normally very, very plugged in to work and building this and building that and researching, different LLCs and all this type of stuff, and business this and this from the state and taxes, and like, that's my mind. My mind is focused on, if I have offspring, how are my kids gonna take on my legacy? How are they going to run a business? Because most of my family, that's what they do. Like I told you all before, yes, they have their formal education, but in my family, we are all business owners, period. Like, there's not one of us that are not either interested or have that going for us, and that's just how we roll. You know what I'm saying? So, or do something on the side that's profitable and can pay your rent or your mortgage, and you don't have to worry about it. You see what I'm saying? So that's my mentality all the time, 24/7. But with the retrograde, it was like I had to stop and ask myself, like, am I able to give this time that I'm spending with trying to make money and all this stuff, with other projects I have that I haven't even talked about on the channel, with my family? Have I given this time to my family and to cultivating a healthy love life, dating? Like, that's important to me. That is also equally important. And so sometimes the retrograde has to kind of check you and has to make you say, where have you been spending your time? Where is all this energy going to? Like, and is it worth it? Is it worth it? And and sometimes it will make you question, like, I sacrificed this for this, I did this that day, and now I didn't do this. Like, for example, maybe as an example, you spent the whole day, working overtime at your job, but your friends invited you to the beach, right? Or maybe a sibling invited you to go somewhere and you declined. Why? Because you wanted to make the almighty dollar. And it's stuff like that. It's little stuff like that the retrograde, if you're tuned in, may kind of make you question and say, why did you do that? Was it worth it? You already worked this amount of hours. You already got paid. Are you overkilling it? Are you stressing yourself out? Are you burning yourself out? It will start to pose questions like that. For example, maybe something completely different will happen to you, but I'm just giving an example of like what I've seen other people experience and the way they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll get off work and say, I hate my job. Like, I've heard people say, I hate my job. And, during the retrograde, they want to change their job. You're not supposed to make big decisions, but like I was saying on Twitter, like, it's very hard not to. Like, this retrograde right here, and more to come in the future, it's very hard not to, because especially with the pandemic, you want to change things, you know, you want things to be right. And so I don't want anyone to feel bad if they're questioning you know, certain big decisions they made in their life. Excuse me, it's freezing in here. Excuse me, all. I got the AC going. I could have put it on mute, but it was too late. So, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. You know, I'm the first person to say it. I'm very hard on myself. I'm a perfectionist, if you guys couldn't tell. You know, I'm a perfectionist, and that's a trait that I'm trying to eradicate out of my body and my mind, because it doesn't help me. But, you know, like, I have Virgo in my chart, not to get technical in a certain place, and I researched that, and that's what kind of makes me tick like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things about yourself, your personality, that you may not be able to control. You know, you may not be able to control it in that way, but you do have to kind of curve it. You know how, you have to know how to you just kind of have to know how to take back power over it and not let it control you. Like, even if you have a certain placement or whatever, you can't make that control you. Like, you have to know how to overcome that. So like with my chart, like, I have certain Virgo placements that make me kind of anal sometimes, like wired. And I have to take control of that. I have to control that, you know? And I've been doing that from like high school. I've realized that trait in me, and I've tried to nip it in the butt. So the retrograde is brutal. Yes, it's brutal, but it's helping you see what matters. It's helping you change things, maybe gradually, step by step, baby steps, into the direction that you need to go in. And sometimes the retrograde will totally reroute you, totally redirect you into a different path that maybe you didn't think that you needed to go down, but maybe you do. And they're trying to give you a more the universe is trying to give you a more balanced approach, and try to show you, okay, you know, you can get this, but at this sacrifice. You know, you can get this kind of money, but with this kind of input time or energy that you may or may not even be willing to give or have. And you have to be honest about that, you know? And it's little stuff like that that the retrograde will do. Some people, they have a full-on tower moment where the whole life is shattered. I've seen that happen a lot. You know, it happens to the best of us, and we have to just kind of flow with it. You know, we kind of just have to go with the flow and accept that, you know, I may not understand right now why this or this or this is happening to me, but I know that it's for my highest good. I know that even though what I'm going through right now is making me cry and making me feel a little bit cuckoo and upset, I have to know that it's for my highest good. And it is. You know, it absolutely is. And I think it was last week, you know, I was crying a lot, you know, like I was crying a lot. And honestly speaking, like, I didn't understand why, you know, I didn't understand why I was crying so much. And you know, at weird times too, like in the morning. And I had to realize that, you know what, I was carrying something around in my heart that should have not been there. You know what I'm saying? And I had to talk to some close friends and coworkers and be like, you know what, like, and colleagues, and be like, you know, that I could vibe with, you know, that I trust. And, you know, we were all crying. We were all like emotional. Like, it was like it was like last week, I think Thursday, Wednesday. And it was weird. It was weird because I'm not a crier. You know, I don't cry. The only time I cry is when I am feeling like I'm not being heard and I feel like I'm in a corner. Like, that is the only time that I will ever cry. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, what the retrograde helps us do is realize that there's certain things that are not in our control, that we cannot control. And we have to just kind of let it flow, you know, whether it's in the form of tears or anger. You know, anger is a popular one. Let me take this off my hand here. 1 second, you won't. Or, you know, anger or sadness or crying, or as I call purging, in different ways, okay? It's necessary. Like, all of this is necessary to get you to where you need to be. So right now, if you're watching me and you're like, Simone, I don't understand why this is happening to me. I don't understand why I've lost this person, or why this person's come back, or why I feel this way, or why I'm not sleeping at night. What I would subject to you to look at is, why do you feel that way? You know, you kind of have to ask yourself, why do I feel that way? Why do I feel angry towards this person? Or why am I not satisfied in my life? Or why am I not content? Or if I am content, why am I content? Like, if I am content, what got me to that point of being content? And how can I maybe now help somebody else? How can I now give my love and energy to my kids, or to family, or to reconnect with old family? Like, if you are in a good place, it's going to help you think a little bit more sentimental, right? So, you know, I would say first you have to ask yourself why you're feeling that way. You know, it's not fair to beat up on yourself, good or bad, or to you know, obsess over how you're feeling or what you're going through, and then not really be able to sit and ask yourself, well, did that happen? Why do I feel this way? So you kind of have to allow yourself, you have to literally allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. You know, especially if it's a breakup, or especially if it's somebody who's come back from the past, you know, and that person's come back from the past, you know, you never thought you'd talk to again, and now you're talking to them, and whether it's a friend or a lover or your soulmate, whatever, and you're shook, you know, you're shook that this person's back in your mind, or you're shook that this person is back on your radar. Ask yourself why that is. Like, if you're now thinking about an ex all of a sudden, you know, ask yourself, well, what unfinished business was there? You know, what was the feelings or things I wanted to tell this person that I never got to tell them? You know, like start there. You know what I'm saying? Start there and give yourself permission to feel what you're feeling. So we have a couple more days left. For those who watch this video at a different later date, these messages could still apply to you, honey. Okay, these things I'm saying in this video could still apply to you, but I think the bottom line is happiness and satisfaction and growth and love, in my opinion. You know, you can't take your possessions with you when you die. You can only pass them down. And that's just the bottom line. So for those people out here who are workaholics like myself, and, you know, you have big dreams, you have big goals, and you don't know how you're going to, you know, necessarily get to X to A to Z, well, you know, you got to re-strategize. What you simply have to do is be honest with yourself, and you have to re-strategize, and you have to understand that, you know, things will happen for a reason, but ultimately it comes down to you. It comes down to you being able to carve out much needed time for yourself. You know, a spa maybe, meditation maybe, yoga maybe, going for a walk like I just did before I went live. You know, little things like that that make you, that give you a little bit of a boost, right? It gives you a little bit of a boost to focus on what really matters to you, and where you want to go in life, and how you want to live it. You know, how you want to live your life, because what I learned is that people can tell you a whole bunch of stuff. You know, people can give you suggestions on what you should do, but at the end of the day, you know, you're gonna make the decision. You know, I like, even as a reader, you know, when I do videos for you all, I could tell you all the stuff in the world. I could tell you that, you know, this is what is a better option, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you know, who's making that decision? You. So it's just simply amazing how the universe works, you all. And I hope that this retrograde has taught you all to be gentler on yourselves, you know, be more gentle on yourselves. And yes, for those who watched my nail glam video, this is a finished product. I did an amazing job. Yes, for those people peeping my nails, I did this all by myself. Yes, your girl is multi-talented. I did a video showing you all how I get ready, because since last year, 2020, you know, the nail salons were closed, so I kind of learned how to do my own nails, and that was fun. And well, I've been knowing that, but I'm saying like professionally, okay, professionally. So thank you all for watching. I hope that I could kind of impart with you all some much needed reassurance and encouragement, okay? We're only human. We're not perfect. You know, do your very best and leave the rest, okay? Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Subscribe. Bye. Bye, you all. Mwah, smooches.